Well, this is part of the nationwide Support Our Science walkout happening right across Canada from St. John's, Newfoundland to Vancouver, British Columbia, and 43 places in between. These graduate students, these postdocs, these professors, these staff, these people from the public that really care about innovation, discovery, our economy, and the success of Canada are walking out today because graduate students and postdocs have not had a raise from the federal government in 20 years, despite 50% inflation. Imagine if we didn't have a raise in 20 years, we'd be absolutely furious. And so we're here asking for increased values in scholarships and fellowships, increased numbers of scholarships and fellowships, and increased investments in grants so that professors and faculty can support graduate students and postdocs with higher wages, which they deserve because they're doing most of the innovation and discovery in Canada.
You can write a letter to Minister Chrystia Freeland and tell her what you think about Budget 2023 and the support that the government is providing for graduate students and postdocs. And we're going to drop it to her office at the end of the protest. All right?
I think our solidarity here today is about connecting the dots between the federal government's responsibilities for funding research and the university's responsibilities for doing the same thing, paying people what they deserve for their research, which rightly the university points out again and again is world-class research.
It basically highlights the genuine inequality that we've really seen right now in academia in general, especially in Canada, because lots of not just postdocs, but grad students, faculty members completely underfunded, especially to conduct any kind of research. And if there is funding, it's so insufficient that you can't really afford to have a decent life. You want to go to conferences, right? So that's important. Right now, I can't afford to do that. And I know lots of my colleagues that can't go to conferences, and you cannot develop as an intellectual, as a researcher, without doing so. So that's the key thing you need to do. But it's also about just having a way of life that allows you to focus on your research.
I'm here to support all the people who are going through the same stuff I went through, which is, we're not paid enough to do the work we do. We have trouble making ends meet for ourselves and for our families. It's about the government not wanting to invest in our research. It's about them trying to balance their books over investing in young researchers. I just see it as sort of an extension of neoliberal politics where they're focused more on balanced budgets than they are on what they're trying to accomplish.
What do we want? A livable wage! When do you want it? Now! What do we want? A livable wage! Now!
I'm proud to stand with you and with our colleagues across the country to demand change. We are here to tell the federal government that our current research funding is unsustainable. Postdocs and grad students are essential for research. Our hands, hearts, and minds are the drivers of Canadian innovation and discovery. We should be its future, but the amount of funding and the number of funding opportunities available to us are not enough to support our careers. This is unacceptable. The federal government should be investing in the next generation of Canadian scientists.
SOS! What does it stand for? Support our science! SOS! What does it stand for? Support our science! SOS! What does it stand for? Support our science!
For those of us who are master's students, our stipend is $16,479.99 per year. For our PhD students, that increases to around $25,000 per year, and only slightly more if you're an international student. When I accepted my offer to attend the University of Toronto 2 years ago, these numbers were a relief. I'm 24 years old and I've been working part-time since I was 13, over half of my life. I held work-study positions during my undergrad and worked full-time in summers to fund my education. $16,000 sounds really nice for a 21-year-old who was already feeling burnt out and tired. In 8 months since I had started my program, I had taken on a part-time job and asked my supervisor to almost double my hours as a research assistant. On top of my coursework and my own exams, plus my responsibilities as a TA, I was more than exhausted. I was diagnosed with chronic anxiety and suffered my first panic attacks during those 8 months. I didn't have anything left to give.